Visual motor integration is the ability to perform an activity by considering the size, shapes, spaces, and alignment of the object. It might sound quite blah, but it is very essential for copying from the board, drawing, performing fine motor activities, and more. Let's see some activities to improve visual motor integration, and this is a whole bag of tricks. Welcome back. Spatial relationship is the understanding of distance between two objects. Draw two objects with varying distances and alignments and ask the child to copy them. Teach the child to see and consider the distance while copying. If the child makes any mistakes, make sure to correct the child immediately. This activity is quite simple. Here I made a 3 by 3 grid and wrote down some random alphabet. The child has to copy the numbers into a similar grid. It might sound simple, but it requires visual motor integration for the child to determine which box should go empty and which should have the alphabet. In this activity, I found a doodle online and made a clean crescent shape next to it and asked my child to fill up the imperfection. This activity is the first step towards teaching your child to find differences between almost similar images. Look how she overrepresents the gaps and is unable to create all the lines as required. This shows the lack in visual motor integration. This is quite similar to the previous one, but it involves a gradient. The cat has dark orange stripes on its orange face. The task is to recreate those stripes. Given the orange background, it would be hard for the child to differentiate between the lighter and the darker shades, especially when also consider the spatial distances. This is another grid copying activity. I intentionally added it after the gradient video. If your child is unable to recreate the stripes in the cat or any similar gradient activity, this is the first step towards achieving it. Since this activity involves white and green color, very distinctive colors, the child will be able to train his brain to differentiate between the borders. Slowly you can introduce similar colors like light green and yellow, and then from there go on to using different shades of the same colors. This is a hard activity. The child has to recreate the shape using beads. The idea is not to expect your child to recreate them perfectly, but to check whether the child is able to maneuver his fine motor movement to assemble the beads in the required direction or angle. Although the end result didn't look exactly like a heart, I am really glad with this. Does your child has any problem with writing within the four lines or coloring within the borders? Beyond the lack of fine motor skills, the lack of visual motor integration would be playing a major role. For such kids, this is a basic activity. Draw a line, write random alphabet up and down, and ask the child to recreate it.